what you was going to say.
Yeah.
Kyle's not going to have a job. You take his take his lines. So, Coach, I know that last week's loss was tough and everything. I'm curious, and you talked about maybe the fire not being there with the team last week. Have they been able to put all that behind them? And I know you turned your focus to LSU, but like from a mental side, have they been able to put it behind them and get their heads right?
Yeah, I think so. I feel like we have. I thought we had a really good Monday and Tuesday, Trey. So I feel really good. We got a lot to play for, so I feel like we do. LSU's been a rival of ours, and it certainly is now. We have the boot. We'd like to keep it. We've got a lot of things. They're top of the West. It'd be nice to go out there and have a really good game. I think we understand the significance of playing LSU at home and what a win could mean to our program. So it's been good. We're reiterating that every day about what's at stake, because sometimes, you feel like, well, you're not going to win the West or whatever, and there's nothing at stake. Well, yeah, your pride's at stake. The playing in front of the state of Arkansas is at stake. Winning is at stake. Bowls are at stake. There's a lot of things, so. And the number one is playing hard and playing for yourself and your teammates and pride. And I feel that this week. I do.
And with KJ, you feel like he's going to be, you said he didn't throw as much yesterday. You feel like he's going to be back on track today?
I can't answer that one without, I don't know, I guess is the answer. We're going to talk to him, and obviously if he can throw today, then we'll throw him a little bit more, and if he can't, then we won't. But that's kind of been a talk to him before practice. He wants to. It's bothering him. He wants to be ready. He wants to play. He wants to practice because he understands that he needs to practice to play well. I think we'll just have to wait and see at practice today and see how he feels. We know he's sore. Depend on what he can tolerate or where it's at. Maybe it's not near as sore today. I don't know. This morning it was a little better, so I don't know what that means as far as what kind of velocity he can put on the ball.
Given that he didn't practice much last week and was a little bit out of sync, does it make sense if he can't practice in full to go a different direction?
Yeah, it does. I think that's certainly Malik practiced well last week and has practiced well this week, and we believe in him. I think there's a misconception that we don't believe in Malik. Well, we believe in KJ, and so I think he's proven that we should. But we certainly have belief that Malik can go in there and we can win the game with him. I mean, we do. So we got to take all those factors in and see where we go from there after today, tomorrow. Already we know what's happened Monday and Tuesday, today and tomorrow, and then see where we're at.
Thanks, Coach.
Otis.
Yeah, Sam, I know this is 2022, not 2014, but in November of 2014, when you were assistant here, you guys beat LSU 17-0 on a very cold day there at Razorback Stadium. Is there a chance that you think the weather could play a factor on Saturday? Because it's supposed to be really cold, and sometimes schools from the South don't play that well in cold weather.
Well, we're going to embrace it. We're going to embrace the cold. We're going to embrace the 11 o'clock. We're going to embrace it. We've got the leaders of the West coming in here, and those are some things we're looking forward to it. The colder the better, and the 11 o'clock is perfect. And so we're going to embrace that situation. Yes, Otis, I hear what you're saying there.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, you hadn't won an SEC game up until that point. It just seemed like they just had no life that night. I mean, or that day, they just didn't seem like they were interested in playing.
Yeah, if I remember right, we were 3-6, and we won out I think it was LSU, Ole Miss, and I can't remember the last one, but it might have been Missouri. I don't remember. And then got bowl eligible and was able to beat Texas. I remember all that about that. I remember how cold it was, and we played really well on defense. And so yeah, I remember all those things, and we certainly have talked about a lot of things. We actually talked about the 2007 game of just staying in a ball game, staying in a ball game, because that's what they did in 7. They took the lead, they came back, took the lead, LSU came back, and just staying in the game and keep fighting. And that particular year, we found a way to win it in triple overtime.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, Sam, going back to KJ, you mentioned he threw some on Monday and it didn't throw as much yesterday. Was that the plan, or was it because of soreness yesterday?
Oh, that was all about how he felt. That was all about how he felt. I thought that he felt much better early in the week than what he had. Threw a little bit on Monday. Didn't set so well on Tuesday. Not a lot, but he threw certainly more than he did the week ago. And again, he feels better this morning. So I don't know, depend on, do we not throw him and throw him tomorrow? Is he not going to play? I don't know right now. Right now we're getting ready to play Malik and Cade and then wait on to see how KJ feels.
Gotcha. And then with Malik, how confident are you in him running the entire offense, or do you kind of have to tailor some plays specifically for him, or how do you adjust with him at quarterback?
We're very confident with him running all of it. I do think, obviously, he has a lot of similar skill sets as KJ, and then some different. And so certainly, if he's the quarterback on Saturday, we would have a few different plays for his skill set than possibly what KJ's is. We're prepared for a couple of similar but yet different game plans, if that makes sense.
Christina.
So switching over to LSU's quarterback, Jaden Daniels is obviously a really strong runner. Just how do you feel about your defensive front's ability to kind of limit him on the ground?
Well, we certainly are aware of his talent. And a lot of times even people have numbers assigned to him and miss him, So he's very, very talented. Going over the defensive game plan, starting on Sunday night with Barry and his crew all the way through this morning's meeting with the defense. I feel very, very confident in our game plan, but to me, Daniels is the difference in their offense. And, it's not just running the ball. He's an exceptional passer. He's got 3 really, really good receivers. And so, and counting the tight end, 4, throw the back out a lot, 5. They're very talented, but everything starts with him, and their O-line's playing better, so they're giving him a lot of time to throw the football as well.
Tom.
Hey, Sam, Otis asked you about 2014. I was going to do the same, but more along the lines of, do you remember how you felt inside? Because I think your players, they ran over and got the trophy, and the field was rushed, and there was a lot of euphoria. Do you remember how you felt that day?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I do. A team like LSU with the logo of LSU. I think they may have been ranked still that day. It was a very, very exciting feeling. You had to get the heck out of the way because our team was flying over there to the boot. But you coach for a lot of reasons. One of them is see the faces and the excitement on the kids, a big reason. And it certainly was there that night. There's that big picture of them holding that boot was a big deal. It was down in our office in this building for a long, long time. And it was a really neat feeling. And then I think it was the next year we took it over there and we brought it back. And so it's been that long since we beat them twice in a row, and that's another incentive trade that we were talking about as well.
As far as KJ is concerned, do you plan to like maybe keep that under wraps and just, you know what I mean, like play it out to game day?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I do not see it a decision. I think there's two to be made, Tom. I think one of them is he going to play at all? And then the other one is, will he start the game? I think there's two, and I don't think we'll get anywhere close to that until some of those answers will be possibly today, some maybe tomorrow. But, the good thing is that he wants to play. And so those are things there that I don't, last week was strictly a game time decision. It was go out there, throw, see how you feel. That's what it was. That's what we knew the entire week. I mean, not the entire week, but after his shot that the steroids injection, we knew that something like that was going to be a game time decision. This week here, I think you add into, because we felt like he was going to play if he could throw. I think this one here you add into, are we going to play him at all, or are we going to start him, or are we going to just wait and see on a game day and then make that decision? I don't know. I'm hoping I can find a little bit more out this afternoon's practice.
Okay. And then just the last thing I have is maybe an update on backs if he might be available. And then the DB situation, you feel like Quincy will be, making strides and can continue to help, and where Chavis might go then.
Yeah, Chavis can stay at corner. He can go to boundary safety. He can go to middle safety. We've worked him kind of in all those positions. We like McAdoo. What a great interception he made. Now that certainly should be able to give him some confidence. Backs, I think he'll be ready. He practiced well yesterday, and I think he'll be ready. But in the secondary, you have the three corners with Nudie and Mack and Chavis, which you alluded to. With Slusher being out, then Chavis or Jaden Johnson's, their roles got to move up, and they're going to play more ball. But I think we talked earlier this week about COVID and having these guys ready to play different positions and all those things. And I feel very confident. Obviously, if you stay at one, you're going to play better. But we're just not in a situation right now where we can only put Clark at safety, not corner. We can only put Chavis at corner and not safety. We're just not in that situation right now, number-wise. And so we're going to play him, and he might play a couple of spots, to answer your question.
Danny.
Hey, Coach, I got a recruiting question for you. Seems like this 23 class has been full for, it seems like 5 months now, or almost full. So I'm wondering, with the contact period and transfer window coming up, how much does that help you to have most of your class pretty much in the books down the final stretch there?
Well, I think a lot. The new legislation from the NCAA has taken dead period to that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday after the Missouri game. So basically, before coaches went out to Sunday after your last regular season game, and you went into homes, you did all those things. I think with the portal in existence now, I'm on the AFC board, and that was one of my recommendations, that you better stay home and figure out who you're going to have on your own team before you go out, because you don't know how many numbers you're going to have, to be honest with you, Danny. So we're going to stay in those 4 days and make sure who's going to be on the team next year, who's not. And then I still believe that if you don't see the kids every week that possibly you can, that you've got problems. So I'll make my rounds to all 23 of them that are committed now. And the coaches will be in there and out every week. And then we'll probably start really concentrating on the 2024 class as far as going to schools of those guys. You can't talk to them, but going into their high schools, probably starting more into January.
Right. Coach, you cross paths with Brian Kelly at all through maybe facing him or anything like that, or anybody else on the staff aside from Brad Davis?
Coach Hankton and I, the wide receiver coach, fine man. He was a wide receiver coach at Georgia when I was there. So Coach Kelly, we played him when I was at Northern Illinois and he was at Central Michigan. But I didn't really know him until I became a head coach, and then he went to LSU. And again, I like the man, and I think he's a really good coach. And our conversation our relationship basically started with Brad Davis. Some questions about Brad Davis, and because he was there when Coach Kelly got the job. And then after that, it's become more of a friend relationship. I have a high respect for him.
Seems like in the years I've been covering football, it seems like whenever this is kind of a general question, but I was just thinking about McAdoo, his ascent, and it always seems like there's kind of like a Wally Pipp type of situation for a guy to move up into, a position. How difficult is it without like an injury or something like that to actually elevate somebody up a depth chart and say, hey, you're a guy in a game where you're not kind of forced to do it? It just seems like that's how jobs are always won for some reason.
Well,
just a general question.
To me, the reason is, Trey, is because whomever's out on the field, you trust them that they know what they're going to do. And the guy who hasn't shown you he knows what he's going to do, you're afraid to put him out there. Okay. But the guy who's out there, who's showing you he knows what to do, but he physically can't do it, you can't ignore that part of it either. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know I can make all the calls, I can do all this, but I can't do the job. I think as coaches, a lot of times we become comfortable with the guys who know what to do and not all the time are doing it. You know what I mean? And so with McAdoo, I just said I want him to play corner. I don't care. I just want him to play. And if you don't want to start him, that's fine. But I want him playing. And because I felt like no matter what, I mean, his mentality is if I'm in man-to-man, this guy right here, he's not supposed to catch a ball. I don't want him to. And that was enough for me because I knew he was talented. And I think, especially with that, Trey, and the block punt, I think his confidence level is going to be high. And people's going to catch a pass on him. People's going to, catch a touchdown on him eventually and all those things. But I know this. He's tough. He's smart. He loves being an Arkansas Razorback. He's got the athletic tools. He's long. I think he's going to be a super corner at some point in his career. He had a nice start.
Thanks, Coach.
Wrap us up, Hutch.
Yeah, real quick, Coach. I forgot to ask earlier. I don't know if I've seen Wagner out there at practice. Is he dinged up right now?
He is. I think he will practice today, though. Well, I know he will. How much, I don't know, but he'll practice today.
How much confidence do you have that you've got a guy like Tykees Crawford there if he wants to play?
This is sort of a little bit like what Trey was alluding to in his question. I mean, you got a guy ready sitting there. In front of him is Dalton, who we know is a good player, knows what he's doing, all those things. Tykees really hasn't had all that many opportunities because of that. Again, I've talked about him ever since fall camp. I think he'll be a fine player for us in the future. And I think if we go with him on Saturday, I think he'll do a great job.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Hey, Coach,
Yes,
can I say, you know, Torian Carter a few weeks ago, you said he might be available late in the season. Still a chance there?
Yes. His availability wouldn't, I don't believe Tom would be before Missouri. And if we can get another game and get bowl eligible, I'm positive that he would be ready for that bowl game. But I think my hope was that he might be ready for Ole Miss and then, you know, Missouri, and then hopefully we can get to 6, 7, 8 and go to a bowl game. But I felt always that he'd be ready for the bowl, hoping Ole Miss. It looks like the best we probably could do is Missouri.
So he could play and then it wouldn't cost him a year.
No, that's a good thing about it is that he could get out there, get some confidence, you know, and not have to burn a redshirt year.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Coach.
All right, guys.